This is the Team Objection podcast for November 14th, 2019, episode 414. And we're here with the three of us for what might be the last time for some time, because Dave, just before we went live, got news. He's having kid number 3. We're bored with talking about Dave's kids, so that's the only thing we're going to mention about it. But it does mean that he's about to go on a short hiatus, and we're going to miss him at least somewhat.
Are you really going to miss me?
Of course. Yes.
Thank you. Thanks, Shaun.
Shaun is no. This will be a reprieve. I'll actually have some excitement in my life for once.
Mm-hmm.
I can't talk about boring things.
Yeah.
Even Shaun doesn't really butt heads with Show Dave anymore, at least not compared to the way it used to be 400 episodes ago.
Yeah, no kidding. I mean, he's toned himself down a bit.
It's still there. It's just way less magnified than it was before.
Yeah. So, I don't know. If you want me to talk about boring things, I tried Popeye's chicken sandwich. It wasn't that good. I don't understand why people had long lines for it.
Because people go crazy over something that gets hyped, and social media was an added fuel to the fire. Imagine social media in the day the original McRib came out.
It would have blown up.
Yeah.
Just stop working servers.
Are we just talking about whatever?
Yeah, that's the whole show. This is the lightning round. We used to do the thing called the hate round. It was a carryover from the very old sports radio show. Then we discovered we didn't have enough hate, so it was buzzer beater, but the buzzer part of the show is gone. There is no name for that segment in this incarnation of the show. We haven't really thought about it because we don't do it anymore. But today, because we're all super busy, Dave has kids coming, we're watching the Lakers-Suns game, blah, 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 we're just flying through a quick little 25-minute show where we talk about 4 or 5 topics, and then we move on.
Okay.
So, what do you got, Shaun?
The new Sonic trailer came out, and I think haters are going to hate. But I will give it credit that it looks significantly better. The animation looks better. It's kind of fun how you see a lot of the first version of the movie in there still. They didn't reshoot the whole thing, but there's just a new, more fun character. And they're adding in scenes now that seem to show off like his speed. He's playing baseball by himself. He's playing ping pong by himself. I guess they're like stuck on him playing things by himself, but the point is, it seems like they got it, you know?
Yeah, I think it's just little subtle things where they try to make him look less real, quote unquote, and more like the video game, and it works really well. I think it was the teeth that threw everybody off in the old version.
Yeah.
I mean, it was more than just that, but that was definitely high up on the list, no doubt. Like, that was one of the things where you're like, oh my god, look at this horrible monster, and that was definitely part of it. Yeah, I mean, he looks like he's more emotive. He looks like Sonic and not some garbage tier nightmare version of him. Somebody was like, maybe this is an elaborate publicity ploy because, it couldn't have ever been intended to be that bad, right? And I'm like, no. Somebody tone deaf just approved it, and it got to be this bad. That's all.
It's so weird how the public opinion can do that. I mean, in years past, you would have figured this just would have come out and people would have hated it and they would have lost a bunch of money. But instead, they went back to the drawing board and, I mean, for all intents and purposes, fixed it.
Yeah, and it's great that they listened. I mean, we give people grief when they don't listen to what fans want, and this was a clear example of somebody going, okay, we messed up. We're going to take a significant time and effort, and props to the animators for what was likely a huge amount of crunch, to make this right, and they did. That said, even though Sonic looks leaps and bounds better, I don't know if this movie's going to be any good still.
Well, you know what's funny is they show now in the beginning, I don't know if this was in the original take, but in the trailer, they show him in the Sonic world. And then, before he comes into our world, and I'm thinking, I kind of want that movie. Mm-hmm. Can't we just leave him in the Sonic world? It looked beautiful. It had the loop-de-loop, but he's in the real world.
It's always weird how they kind of have to do that, where it's like, hey, he's going to come into the real world, and it's not like, well, why? Why not just make a movie in that universe?
I almost never like it when that happens, unless that's like the whole point, and it's like pointing that out like as part of the genre, like Enchanted.
Yeah, that's true.
It was like a meta thing that they did by bringing that into the real world. Other than that, like Mario was terrible. There's a bunch of examples of I just don't like it.
About was Detective Pikachu that way, where it's kind of like it's supposed to be in the real world?
It's in in-game world.
Oh, okay.
It looks like a Earth City to a lot of respects, but it's its own setting. It's not like this is New York or something. It's it's its own place.
Gotcha.
I mean, you could have it set in that world, and you could still have Jim Carrey as Robotnik because he exists in Sonic's world, and I don't need any of these weird military characters that Robotnik seems to be cavorting around with, so that would be fine. But I don't know. I mean, I'm reserving judgment. I'll probably go see it. I probably was going to before because it looked like an absolute train wreck. So in some ways, I'm almost a smidge less interested than I was before they fixed Sonic. But
You wanted to see the train wreck.
yeah, but I thought it was interesting. Somebody mentioned this on social media, and I actually thought it was true. I am more interested in both Sonic and Scoob than I am either Pixar movie that's coming up next year.
I think
What are the
one
Pixar
Pixar
movies?
one looks cool. Come on, Scoob.
Yeah,
Come on.
Scoob? I
Looks
don't even know what this
terrible.
is.
I like
Scooby-Doo.
Scooby-Doo.
Oh,
my
jeez, I hate
God.
Scooby-Doo
Oh
so
my
much.
God, we've hit probably the biggest point of contention in our entire friendship.
This is rock bottom.
You like Scoob? I'll be honest. I don't like any of those old cartoons, though. That's my issue. So,
Like the old Hanna-Barbera ones are just
no,
garbage.
none of them. I hate
Yeah.
all of them, except, and I don't think this is I don't think this is Hanna-Barbera. I like Rocky and Bullwinkle.
I don't think that was.
I don't think it
Hanna-Barbera.
was. I think it was different.
The Flintstones was good. That was Hanna-Barbera.
Dead silence.
I didn't like Flintstones. I didn't like Jetsons. I didn't like Yogi Bear. I didn't like any of the old like Super Friends bullshit.
It's true.
It was all bad.
They're all really bad. They're all really bad.
They're all really corny.
Yeah,
And-
exactly. They don't really put a lot of effort forth in their animation. So but Scooby-Doo, to me, I don't know, that was the worst. I can't look forward to that at all.
So
I'm sick of it existing, basically.
I'll take a fresh take on it. We'll see. Thought the trailer was good.
You mean like the early 2000s Sarah Michelle Gellar type of?
Yeah, no, not that. That's awful.
That was terrible.
That shouldn't exist.
Exactly.
But this I might take a chance on. I don't know. I'm just not that excited by Onward. I've seen 2 different trailers for that, and I'm
yeah.
like, nah.
I like
Yeah,
Tom
I'm with you.
Holland. The thing is, I've learned with Pixar, I've never been excited by a Pixar trailer.
That's also true.
That's true.
Like it never happens, and then I almost always really like the movie. Coco was like, it was like rich. I liked it, but I would say I didn't love it as much as a lot of the other Pixar movies.
I remember seeing the previews for Coco and thinking like, I don't know about this. It's just like, and maybe they're just trying to be too colorful and everything. And then I actually saw the movie and like cried at the end. So it was awesome.
It was good. I just like it didn't reach the same heights for me as some of the other ones. I don't know.
Yeah.
Toy Story 4. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Loved it.
I like Toy Story 4. I loved it.
Saw it twice. Doesn't happen much.
Yeah.
I don't see many movies
Wow.
in theaters, period, let alone twice. Saw it
I mean,
twice.
at this point, we can just have Toy Story movies just keep coming at this, right? We
If
can
they
just,
still have interesting stories to tell, and they certainly did here, people are like, you don't need to have a follow-up. It's like, we don't need to do anything, but
Yeah.
it was good. I actually really liked what they did with it.
I did too. I enjoy it quite a bit. I don't know where you go from here. You either have to keep following Woody, or you have to keep following the other group, or you have to mash them together in some way that probably makes very little sense. But either way, I would be interested to see what direction they would take for a 5 if they did it.
Without Woody, though, like you said, either they have to mash him back up, which with a traveling circus, that's going to be rough, or you have to somehow go without Woody. And it's like, I don't know if you can do that.
You guys, I have a question.
Yeah.
It's going to derail us, but that's okay.
It's lightning round.
How do you feel about the new Pokemon game? It's releasing for us at the time of recording in like 3 days.
It's releasing the same day that Dave's baby is born, so some of us will be doing more exciting things than others.
Oh,
And
so
by
something
us-
important's going to happen that day now
Right.
then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Something of
Hey,
note
I'll
in
be
the annals
playing-
of history.
I'll be playing plenty of video games on Friday because I'm just going to be sitting in a hospital room waiting all day on Friday.
Why don't you get Pokemon?
Well, because I'm playing Breath of the Wild, and so I'm going to have my Switch in there
You're going
playing
to be
Breath of the
busy
Wild.
for a while.
Breath of the Wild? Yeah.
You're going to be busy for a while with Breath of the Wild, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I've already been busy. I don't even know how much I have left, but I feel like I've been playing it for a long time.
Get Tetris 99, you coward.
I will. Believe me. I'm going to get a Nintendo Online. I'm going to play with you, and I'm going to beat you.
You guys,
Okay.
I have issues with like online games like that. I've realized like even games like Gwent, I get super obsessed with it, and then I think I realize there's no endpoint. There's no defined endpoint other than like some goal I set for myself, and like that hinders my ability to stay with a game. Like you still play Rocket League, Chris? Like I think, like
Still do.
I do.
Occasionally.
I did Gwent for like a huge burst, like maybe 2 months playing it all the time, and then like I haven't touched it since. Because like I like getting through my backlog, like that feeling of accomplishment, actually beating a game, being done with it, and then moving on to the next one.
There's something rewarding, though, about a game that you're like, I've got 10 minutes to do something. Here, I'm going to pick up Tetris, and okay, I'm done. Like, there's
I
something
guess
really
that's
rewarding
true,
to be able
yeah.
to do that.
Yep. And that's the difference for me. Tetris and Rocket League both still have that. both sub 10-minute experiences, which is great for like right before bed. It's like, oh, I can squeeze one of these in real quick before I fall asleep or something. It's for me, it's also different because I played MMOs and still do. I'm an active subscriber to Final Fantasy 14, so like you go into those knowing, I mean, there are endpoints and such, sure, but you're never truly going to beat it. Like, there's going to be more and more expansions for 14 because it's extremely successful.
But that to me, like, that's fun though. Like, if I had time, and I'm not trying to be like I'm so busy, but like it's just I am. My time to align with your guys' time has not worked out yet. If it could work out, I would love to play that game because there's still like endpoints. You beat the expansion, and then there's one that's going to come out, but you're still getting through it.
Yeah, and it's different than like a Hearthstone or a Gwent or something like that, where it's a more digestible experience. But see those, especially Hearthstone, if you don't keep up with every expansion, you fall behind. I've stopped playing Hearthstone. I haven't played it in 6 months.
Okay.
Long before Blizzard got itself involved in a Hong Kong situation and people were protesting and uninstalling, I was already done. And it's not because the game did anything wrong. It's just it's really tough if you don't want to invest money into trying to keep up with that experience. Whereas, again, Rocket League, I pick it up and I play it. Tetris 99, I pick it up and I play it. It doesn't matter how many months it's been. It doesn't matter what's happened. It's the same thing.
At least
and it's fun.
With Gwent, you don't really have the I have to invest to be competitive. So at least there's that. I do want to touch on Pokemon, though. Dave, did I tell you my theory for Pokemon?
No, but please do.
Okay. So in this new game, there's a really stupid mechanic, in my opinion, called Gigantamaxing or some such thing. Where you take your Pokemon, and in XY it was kind of cool. You basically there's like it's a mega evolution, so they take on like a new form. It essentially goes Super Saiyan, right? In this Pokemon, it's more like they are infusing like kaiju into it. They're like the final bot, like Rita Rapunzel comes down and like does the thing, and the Pokemon just gets bigger. Does it change
bigger.
Form, or it looks the same as far as I can tell?
Mostly the same. They're a little bit different. Like, Pikachu, when he gets huge, looks like fat Pikachu from the original Red more than he does the modern Pikachu. But for the most part, they're the same. They're just 30 times
like
bigger.
Kaiju Pokemon. I think it looks so dumb. So, Dave, here's my theory.
Okay.
And I think it applies to a couple different things. So there's one, the Gigantamaxing, and then there's two, there are like raid battles where you're supposed to team up with other people to like take down really tough Pokemon. My trainer is going to do the whole thing. I'm not going to Gigantamax. I'm going to do everything by myself. And we're going to see what happens.
Well, as long as you fight some putties before it gets Gigantamax, then you'll be fine.
Exactly. Level up with the putties. Make them hit each other. I like how in that episode they had difficulty with the putties for like one episode, and then once they figured out how to beat them, they were fine forever again.
And they kept showing up, and I'm like, what is the story behind these? They never do anything. Why does Rita keep deploying them?
Yeah,
they're just well, I mean, I don't know, that whole show we could break down into how stupid are you, Rita? It's like, here, send out these putties that never work. Okay, send out this monster. Well, that didn't work. Let's make it big. Oh shit, that didn't work because he's got the giant sword. Okay, and so.
Yeah,
at least the second and third stages worked for a while. The monster shows up, and it usually forces the Power Rangers to to counter with their own big robot or multiple big robots later on, whatever. The putties never do anything ever. They just don't. They get their asses whooped. They don't tire them out. They don't. It's not a cannon fodder thing. It's nothing.
They don't even have to morph.
Yeah,
no,
exactly.
They're just like kids.
I will say it was always my favorite part of the show because I like the martial arts.
Yeah,
and I liked it when it was actually them not in costumes.
Mm-hmm.
I thought there was always something superficial about them in costumes. Yeah, it turns out it was their Japanese original filming counterparts. Mm-hmm. God. Anyways, the point being, I'm going to go through it, and that will give me the challenge that I've been seeking in Pokemon forever. And also, it's a kind of nice for my own personal headcanon of like how I'm going to get through it. My trainer's just, he doesn't believe in this Gigantamaxing stuff. He thinks Pokemon are good enough in their regular form, and he's going to prove it, or she.
I am always so impressed how you build this giant narrative around a relatively simplistic thing.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I have to. With Pokemon, I have to. And, I'm not even going to get on its... I've been really critical of Pokemon not telling mature stories. Ever. At all. Like, even with a little bit of stakes. But then we had this day, this, like, thank you Game Freak day. And, like, everybody on the internet was like, thank you so much for telling, like, such positive stories. And it's always, like... kind of carefree and wholesome, and we are so grateful for that. And I was like, oh, well, I guess that's kind of nice. So if I have to make my own deep stories for Pokemon, I'll do it at the expense of like all these people can have their wholesome Pokemon.
Yeah. They need it to be that way. You know, I bet it'd be kind of cool if they did a darker Animal Crossing, but they're not going to.
Yeah.
It's meant for a certain subset of the audience, and they like their games that way. And that there's plenty of other games that do grittier telling of stories that they can go there instead.
Yeah, and why can't my trainer have had his Pikachu eviscerated the year before, sworn to never train Pokemon again, and then, you know, the game starts, and I choose a new starter, and, you know, something calls me back to action.
I mean,
my father goes missing, and I have to use this new Pokemon to
save the family. It's every narrative. Families is captured.
Fine. I get arrested and thrown into prison, but I'm innocent. And I have to take a Pokemon and prove my innocence with my rival, who is a criminal, but we're, you know, enemy of my enemy right now.
Okay, so we got a Halo 2 thing going on, kind of. Enemy of the enemy.
Yeah, in a way, yeah.
Or reverse gold silver.
Yeah.
Where you were just the good guy and the rival was kind of the bad guy and a thief.
Yeah.
And it was fun to hate him. Man, I miss hateable rivals. That's the thing I miss more than anything.
I
don't want to be friends. I don't want to have a crew of friendly rivals that show up and support each other. I don't mind one character like that, but I don't want the main rival to be that.
You know, I was playing Trails of Cold Steel, and I like it. For all the shit I talk about it, I did enjoy it. But it annoys me some of the characters are like, there are these like war criminals, Dave, that you're fighting in this like war. It's a war. You're fighting in a war. And these people cannot stop being on each other's dicks the whole game about like, wow, I really look up to you. It's an honor to cross swords with you. Oh, I can learn so much from you. It's like, he's your enemy. Like, stop. You don't have to do that with every single person you come across. Wow, you fought well. It bothers me so much.
It's like, thanks, Hitler. You really sent a lot of troops into Normandy that day. Good job, buddy. We beat you, but man, I respect you.
Proud to have tested my sword against you. It's like, shut up.
You know, you were a horrible human being, but you did inspire a lot of people to put themselves into political action, and it was a misguided attempt, but boy.
Yeah.
Love the effort. A+.
And that's more of a byproduct of Japan.
I was going to say, I think it's a Japanese thing. But
as somebody who's played a lot of JRPGs over the years, I keep seeing it more and more, and it keeps getting more and more frustrating.
Yeah, it's a Goku thing. Like, I think it's like a shonen thing. They do that a lot. Like, Goku is always like, oh, what a good
fight. I'm so excited to have you as my opponent. It's like, he just wiped out a third of the globe. This is not about a chance to test your skill.
Yeah, in the last movie, Goku's like, oh, Frieza, I can't wait till we meet again. Meanwhile, Frieza's out like genociding entire cultures.
Jeez, Sephiroth, way to knock out the entire solar system, but good fight, buddy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, thank God that's not like that.
Oh my God, you guys. I have to tell you, I'm playing through Final Fantasy VII again.
Strike one.
Why?
No, well, this is going to be your strike two, Chris.
Okay.
And maybe 3 in 1.
Oh, boy.
I'm loving it.
Oh.
Like, the writing itself is a little lacking, and part of that's translation things, but the way that they're building, when you know what to look for, the idea that Cloud is not Cloud the whole time is brilliant.
Are you 17 again? Is that what's happened here?
No, it's... and I will say something else. The recent iterations, not really Crisis Core, that was more Zack, but Advent Children and even Kingdom Hearts, where they paint Cloud as like this super emo dude, he's not really like that in 7. Like, he's in it like the very beginning when he's like, I don't care. It's like, do you want to help us save the planet? He's like, I don't care. Whatever. But then pretty soon after that, he's making jokes. He's like telling a story, and in the story, he's like, oh, and I stole Tifa's panties. And she's like, did you really? And he's like, no, I'm just kidding. It's like he has personality. He's joking and he's fun. But he's just always portrayed now as like this like emo dude.
Why didn't you wait till the remake came out?
This is why. I want to play it one more time before the remake. Because the remake is not going to actually like be anything really that similar to...
It's just the first disc, basically.
Yeah,
which is weird.
And not even all that.
No, it's not the first disc.
The first third of the first disc.
Oh.
Yeah, so I've been playing for, I would say, 8 hours or 7 or 8 hours, and I'm out of Midgar, so I'm technically just now past the point where the disc that game is going to end. Interestingly, you don't meet Sephiroth at all in the Midgar section. You see his sword in the back of the president, And that's it. It's not until you go to the very next thing, but that's after Midgard, you get the backstory.
And remember, when you're seeing Sephiroth on disc 1, you're still not seeing Sephiroth.
But let me tell you, actually, so there's an interesting thing here too. I don't know if it's a translation. This is another reason I'm playing it. I don't know if it's a translation issue or what, but like it is Sephiroth, or at least Sephiroth's like will the whole time. He is using like psychic powers to make all this stuff like happen.
That doesn't help his case.
Well, it does a little bit.
It does not. Because then in addition to blowing up an entire solar system and not killing you, he's also manifesting his will and still can't win. He becomes the most flaccid villain in the history of video games.
Sure, I will say, yeah, that's fine.
It's cool and interesting. I will give you that. But it's also another tally against him in the, he's the best villain ever. No.
I think you're right. And for that argument, I think you're absolutely right. But like, I know one of the arguments we used to say was like, it's not even him. It's Genova. And at least that's not the case upon further like investigation. It is still him. He's just lost his body. So he's able to like, he's in the life stream now and he's like manifesting forms to go out and like do his bidding. But it's like, it's still him at least. So anyways, it's just really interesting. Cloud getting like flashes of like when he's narrating a story and like, it's not him. And I feel like I lost both of you.
Nah,
I
remember
cool.
It would have been strike 3 for me if it wasn't for the modifications you can do now with the faster speed and the skipping encounters and that kind of stuff you mentioned. If it weren't for that, it would have been strike 3. Because that I would at least consider playing through 7 again with those improvements because it wouldn't take me so goddamn long.
Dude, I thought I would play with so Dave, here's what you can do in the remake. In like not the remake, but like the
remaster,
HD
the re-release.
remaster sort of thing.
Yeah.
You can speed up game time to 3 times. Three times speed. You can turn off all encounters. So if you get stuck or you just want to explore or whatever, just turn it off. And you can press a button and all your HP and MP and limit gauge fills.
So God mode, basically.
Pretty much. You can't get into an area where someone would one hit kill you because like once you're dead, you're dead. But like other than that, it makes the battle so much faster. And I didn't think I was going to abuse it so bad. I was going to use it in a pinch because I played it twice before. But no, I'm using it all the time.
Yeah, it's one of those where if you don't really want to take the time to play through it since you've already beaten it once the regular way, it's like, why? Like, that's why I love New Game Plus and Chrono Trigger so much. I'm like, I'm going to play this game through, but I'm going to one-hit everything because I've already done this. Yeah. I know I can do it.
And the no encounters is the biggest one for me just because I am souring more and more on random encounters. So you don't see them as much in the industry now, but still, the thought of going back to that, finishing a fight, taking 2 steps and makes me want to kill myself. And so at least at times where I'm like, I just want to get back to this town, for the love of God, stop, I can be like, hey, cool, I hit a button and I can do that now.
Well, and the painted backgrounds are beautiful. I like it a lot. I think it's really cool artistically. It makes it hard sometimes to see where the hell you're supposed to go.
Yep.
So then this is another thing of like, I can just wander around and be like, oh, man, it would take me an hour to find this regularly.
Yeah, God forbid there's an area with encounters because then you're like, oh my God, I don't want to have to figure out where to go.
And in 10, it's going to fix the biggest problem for me, which is like trying to do the puzzles in the dungeons. I can just turn them off.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm thinking back to like Temple of the Ancients and how little I liked exploring that place at the end of Disc 1. And I'm like, no encounters would go a long way to helping that quite a bit.
Now, in 10, does it have all those features too?
No. It doesn't have a fast forward.
Oh, no.
It doesn't have an encounter skip.
Oh, no.
I don't think it has any of those.
Oh, no. It's all right. 8 has it and 9, so I'm going to be set for a while.
10 looks shinier, has the new soundtrack, some other stuff, but no double speed type thing.
It's not like it's that hard of a game anyway. But
no.
You guys, I'm telling you, 7 is like shockingly solid. It's really good. And like there's always like a guard around when Cloud is talking with Sephiroth. Like, and that's because that's actually like Cloud. But when you're watching it the first time, you're like, oh, that's cool. They really thought it out. I don't know. I was impressed.
Well,
you're a terrible person.
You talked about me liking Scooby-Doo being a deal breaker. You becoming a Final Fantasy VII fanboy is also approaching deal breaker territory.
I'm just saying, like, it's doesn't really go up a whole lot. And I always thought it was okay. but it's not like my favorite Final Fantasy or anything. But
Okay,
it's like
all right.
it's a lot better than it was before. It's maybe jumped up a couple spots.
And I don't love Scooby-Doo or anything. I like it, but so I guess somehow this 25-minute episode didn't end up being the death of our friendship. So that's nice.
We managed to avoid it.
It was close.
Somehow.
It's close.
Dave, say something controversial really fast.
Yeah, you're going to be gone for who knows how long.
Shaun, you should have a kid.
All right, there it is.
How can you say something so controversial yet brave? Well,
actually, no. It's not controversial, but actually, I really want to download Final Fantasy IX. That's the next one I want to finally beat. I've played through it halfway 3 times, and I just want to beat the damn thing.
Dave,
This
I'm
will
telling
help.
you. I'm freaking telling you.
I'll get it on the Switch.
Yeah, playing it with this new, like, you
the
can turn
new
off encounters
the
and all
improvements
that.
and the Switch will both help a lot.
And in H, you
Yep.
get all the cards, too.
Yep.
The triple triad. They just give them to you.
Oh,
So,
there you go.
Just giving them out.
yeah.
Do they automatically draw for you in 8?
Probably not, but oh, no. I think because you can go, like, max MP or whatever. I think I remember, like, from someone who spent way too much time drawing from enemies, the
Gross.
ability to have this, like, cheat was a godsend. So I was like, oh, thank God. I'm going to be doing that for sure.
I gave up on 8 very quickly after I learned how. This is how I get magic. Nope, done.
Man,
Not playing
that's
this game.
none of us finished 8.
No.
I didn't.
All of us started. None of us finished it. Wow,
Yes.
that's. I finished every Final Fantasy game I ever started except 8.
Wow.
I didn't because I
Screw
didn't
you,
finish
Squall.
9.
Yeah.
Oh, well. Anyways, we'll let you know what happens with Dave next week. Will be your point of contact because he won't be here.
But we have some fun segments planned in Dave's absence, so like definitely stay tuned. Still, we're gonna hold down the fort until Dave comes back.
And we might have a special guest, not next week, but the following, the week of Thanksgiving. Although that episode won't air till after Thanksgiving, so let me fix my face. But that'll be the first week of December. We might have a special guest. Who knows who that could be? It's not Michaela.
It's not. It's not Maisie.
No, she can't come on the show.
Mm-mm.
It's not Michelle
It's not Michelle.
because she
She's
died.
dead to us.
So who could it be?
Mm.
You'll have to tune in and find out.
It's
That's-
mute baby. It's mute baby.
It's my baby that's mute because it's a baby.
Oh no.
You wishers will be mute. At 2 a.m, you're gonna wish it had a mute switch. It won't.
I'm used to it. It's fine. This is nothing.
That's the end of this episode. In between shows, you can find us at our website, objectionnetwork.com, on social media. Don't bother, but they're down there if you're bored. It's youtube.com/objectionnetwork for new videos 7 days a week. And finally, send emails to the show to objectionnetwork@gmail.com. See you next time.